What do you do if you have a car on your lot that doesn't sell?
So with the pricing of our cars, the way that we do it is that if we have a car that sits for about 2 weeks and we don't have a lot of attention on it, we don't get a lot of test drives on a car, then we're very active as far as lowering our prices on our cars. A lot of dealerships don't do this. They like the fine wine method of pricing their vehicle. You can see it at some of these franchise dealers, where they'll keep a car for a year, 2 years, and won't lower the price, and they'll try to find that magical customer that's going to come in and want to buy a 2-year-old brand new car sitting on a lot. No, we don't do that. 2 weeks is when our hands start shaking a little bit on a car. But if we have a car that sits for 2 weeks, I lower it by $500. You got to think the price range that I'm trying to sell. It's like $2,500 to $5,000 is our range of cars that we sell. So if I'm lowering a car by $500, that really means that I want it gone, because on a $3,000 car, you lower it by $500 in 2 weeks. That's a significant percentage of what the whole car is actually trying to be sold for. And you can imagine, if we're trying to make between $1,000 and $1,500 on a car when we initially price it, I could be cutting my profits in half just right after 2 weeks because the car doesn't get any attention. Now, okay, car, let's say it's an undesirable car, we bought it wrong, whatever, it's ugly. I know I like to buy a lot of ugly cars because I used to be able to buy them and sell them really cheap, but now people care more about what the car looks like than how the car mechanically runs. And it's frustrating for me. It's a cultural shift. I hate it. But say I buy one of these ugly cars, we lower it by $500, and then it goes another 2 weeks. So we had the car a month on our lot and it still doesn't sell. Well, we lower it by $500 again. I don't want stale inventory on my lot, and I don't want old cars competing with new cars I have coming in that could potentially make some money on. So you can do a little bit of math. If I'm trying to make $1,000 to $1,500, my average is right at $1,000 of what we make per car. Then I could be breaking even on a car after 4 weeks and after no test drives and people not looking for a car. And it happens quite a bit. Our loss rate is right at 5%. So 1 out of every 20 cars, I'm going to take a loss on. And if I buy a car wrong, if it's an ugly car, if it's undesirable, then we got to make it so cheap that someone has to, we're basically giving it away to somebody at that point, because we're not making any money on the car. And that's where a lot of our like break evens typically happen, where we just have the car for a month, we drop it down to what we have in it, and then we move it on. It's actually pretty rare that we get to that 6th week and we have to lower it again to where we're losing $300, $400, $500 on a car. Very rare. We don't often keep cars longer than a month with the price drops that we run into. With the caveat of like somewhere around tax time, we won't lower our prices during that time, because I know when people get their tax refund checks, when money starts flowing in the system for used car dealers, that we'll be able to sell that car. So that's the only time of year we don't lower our prices. All throughout the rest of the year, 2 weeks, $500, 4 weeks, $1,000. Hope doesn't happen, but 6 weeks, $1,500, we drop it, and at that point we're typically losing money on the car. So that's how we operate with cars that do not sell. And there's no such thing as a car that will not sell. You see a lot of videos that have titles like that. Now, if we have a car so long that we keep lowering the price and for whatever reason it still won't sell, we'll even get to the point where we'll take it to auction and dump it there. A car will eventually sell at some price. There's not just going to be scrap yards sitting around where a car is literally unsellable. Even if the car is reduced to scrap, it still has a metal value. So yeah, we can, there's no such thing as a car that will not sell. It will sell at some price.
We've had a few across the years that we've taken to an actual junkyard for scrap, but that's been...
In a lot of cases, if we have an issue like that, though, it's because we bought a car, we got like $800 in it, and we got it back to the lot and the motor's blown on it. And it makes no sense. Like, it won't run. Like, we can't send it to auction. It'll bring $125 to the auction because it literally will not run through the auction. And we can call a junkyard and they'll come give us $175 and pick it up. That's the scenario where we would actually do that.
Or a car accident for an employee.
Or if one of our employees runs into another car with one of our cars.
Particularly one that doesn't work for us anymore.
Yeah.
How many cars has Alex crashed?
I don't think he's crashed any.
Not that we know about.
No, not that we know about. I mean, could have hit a couple cars and then not told us
No,
about.
that was there.
And honestly, a dent in a $2,500 car. You know how much it's worth after it gets that dent? $2,500. So it doesn't matter all that much. Now we've had a couple that have been totaled, and we had an employee that ran into another dealer's like brand new van that I had to pay like $5,800 to fix that. And we didn't tap it or insurance. Never trying to get into our insurance. Our premiums go up and they could even drop. Anyway, that cost us a lot of money. So I love the cost of doing business. It's my favorite thing to do.
Is there any used car that is a must buy if you see it?
First of all, why are you yelling at me? People in all caps. I just imagine someone just yelling from behind the computer screen when they do all caps. I know you're trying to get our attention. What's the question?
I already took it down because you want me to take them down.
No, I do want you to take them down, but
what car is a must buy when you see it?
We talk a lot about money on this channel. Car payments, credit cards, budgeting, and people just trying to make sense of where their money is actually going.
That's where Monarch comes in. Monarch is a private, ad-free personal finance platform designed to give you a clear, centralized view of your money without turning budgeting into a full-time job. Monarch brings all your accounts together into one clean dashboard.
Bank accounts, credit cards, loans. So you can actually see your full financial picture in one place instead of bouncing between apps. There's also a shared viewed option for couples, so both people can see the same financial picture and stay aligned. It also gives you AI-powered insights if something changes, like if spending starts to creep up somewhere, so you stay aware without having to constantly dig through your accounts. It connects with over 13,000 institutions, so everything syncs up pretty easily. So click the link in the description or scan the QR code to start your free trial and get 50% off your first year if you use code DEALER50. If you want a better way to see your full financial picture without making it complicated, check out Monarch. And thank you to Monarch for sponsoring this video.
What car is a must buy when I see it? It used to be a Ford Taurus, but Nate won't let me buy ugly cars anymore. Nate's my sales manager. Now it's probably going to be a Honda Pilot is something that we sell really well. And anytime I see a Honda Pilot with a lot of miles on it, that's one I want to get back to my dealership, sell them really easily. I can give you a whole list of these cars. Like a Lexus RX 330, 350s. We do really well with those. Toyota Camrys is by far, I think, the most reliable car that you can buy. So I try to buy them as much as I can. Problem is they don't sell that well, and I guess because they can kind of look like a grandma car a little bit, especially the older ones. I still want to have them because I know they're not going to give us any problems, but sometimes we have difficulties actually selling them. There's more of a cultural thing now where people care more about what the car looks like than the actual mechanical stability of the car. Honda CRVs are one that I like to buy a lot. Toyota RAV4s, I would like to buy them, but I often can't pay as much as they're actually going to cost. So if they were in my range of that under $5,000, then those would also make the list. But because they bring so much money, I can't buy them. So oftentimes we'll walk past them. But just so I don't miss that as a good car, it's just because of the price point, not necessarily because of the actual car. I'm trying to think what else we have. A lot. A Subaru Foresters. I love a Subaru Forester, a Subaru Outback. I know a lot of people have worries about like head gaskets, the motors. That's a common problem with them, but you can check things while you're at auction and see if it shows any signs of a head gasket problem. And we haven't had any head gasket problems out of Subarus. And we buy, I would say over the last year, we probably had 150 of them. So I love Subarus. I know there's some iffiness about some of the transmissions, but we haven't dealt with that either. So Subaru is another one. Just about any Subaru, honestly. I like the Foresters and the Outbacks the most, but just about anyone, and they sell so good. It's almost a different clientele than what I typically deal with too, that will buy a Subaru. In a lot of cases, there'll be like small families that actually have money, but they don't want to go in debt, and they'll come buy a $3,500 or $4,000 Subaru from us, or maybe even a family that has a kid, and they'll put the kid in the Subaru. So it's an easier clientele for us to deal with. So I like a lot that has to do with Subarus. And the plus side to the Subarus is we've just had another a Subaru new car franchise store that got added to one of our auctions that we go to every week. So I've had even more access to these Outbacks and these like the Legacies, Foresters, and we've made a lot of money off them in the last 6 months since this new store's come in there. So they've made my list. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's really common that you can remember? Ford Escapes, I buy a lot of Ford Escapes. But yeah, that would I think that's a pretty good list. There are tons of cars that we look at that's just auto like checkout that we want to buy, but of all the ones that we buy, those are probably not only ones that we like to buy, but also very, very easy to sell.
And there will not be one of any kind that is a must buy no matter what it sells for. And I kind of thought,
no, there's not a must buy.
There's never going to be that. That's why there ends up being a list, because there's not a one car. If I see it, I have to buy it.
Yeah, I probably change that question to see what is a must like check out to potentially buy.
Yeah, which makes sense, but I just thought I would address that. Are you ever going to go against Nate's wishes and buy a Ford Taurus again?
I'm trying to think if I bought something ugly the other day and I can't remember what it was.
No telling.
No telling. Or at least I tried to buy something ugly the other day. One thing I will still buy though that are very ugly, but they still sell very well. Nate doesn't want to have them, but like PT Cruisers, for whatever reason, they sell. Like I can make so much money off PT Cruiser. I don't know why. I think it's the ugliest car ever made. But PT Cruiser, HHR, which is another one of those frumpy little station wagon kind of looking things. I really wish I could remember what that ugly car was that I bought the other day. Or at least tried to buy.
What we've always said, if you don't know if you bought it.
Oh, Aztec. Oh, here we go. Aztec. You remember? Do you remember a Pontiac Aztec? We've had quite a few of those.
Yep. I
take back my statement about the PT Cruiser. The Pontiac Aztec is the ugliest car ever made. That was it. If you don't know what Aztec is, you need to do a little Google search real quick and pull up a Pontiac Aztec. We had one time that was a sport version of this Aztec, and it had a cooler in the center console. Wasn't a console, it was a cooler, and they did that because you're supposed to be off-roading in this thing going camping, and you needed that cooler right there to be able to take your cold beer in it. And this Pontiac Aztec, as we buy cheap cars, had all the mold in the cooler. So cooler was not used hopefully by anyone after we sold it.
Do you have any opinions about public auto auctions?
Yeah, I really think that you should avoid a public auto auction. It's the dumping grounds for dealers that are trying to get rid of their trash and unload them on the public, who is unsuspecting and doesn't know what they're actually looking for. And in a lot of cases, these dealers, when they take these same cars to a dealer-only auction, they won't even sell, because a lot of dealers, they know what to look for. They know it's absolute garbage, and they won't bid it up to the price that the selling dealer actually wants it. So they'll send it to a public auction, and two Joe Blows will get on the car and they'll say, okay, well, this is a great looking Cadillac or whatever it is, and the motor's blown on it, and they have no clue, just because they don't know what they're looking for, and they don't know what they're looking at. Make that clear. And they think the car looks good. There's a lot of cars that look good that are absolute garbage, motors blown, transmissions gone. And if you don't know what you're looking at, then you can buy a paperweight really quick. And this is what happens at a lot of public auctions. So I would avoid them. Now, if you're a mechanic, obviously you could probably find a deal at a public auction. But in a lot of cases, the public will pay more for a car at auction than what it would go for wholesale at a dealer auction. So if there was a public auction right next to our dealership, I probably would not go to it. That's how bad they are. That's how much trash are at these auctions. And I would avoid them.
Yeah, if I was a solid mechanic that had all the equipment and it was my regular thing to do, I would absolutely be there. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else.
Even mechanics, like they could still go get stuff cheaper at a dealer auction than they would. And most mechanics have their dealer's license also. If there's not retail, then they have wholesale dealer license, so they can still go to an actual dealer auction in most cases. So it would even be better for them just to go there or go to somewhere like a Copart. Even Copart would be better than a public auction, even though Copart has very high fees. Well, I shouldn't say that. We want to get sponsored by Copart every once in a while. So no, that's fine. They do have very high fees.
Can we get an update on your Honda Odyssey minivan?
Yeah, so we've had a new Honda Odyssey for a year and a half now. Coming up on 2 years.
Right at 2 years.
Yeah, we still love it. One thing I don't like about it, and I'm going to buy my wife a new one.
We'll see.
No, we're going to buy a new one, is the start-stop crap that they put, the EPA makes all these manufacturers put in, where you go into a stoplight and the car just cuts off. It makes the air not blow as cold. It drops your RPMs. It feels unnatural. And then when you hit the gas, everything pops back on, and then it kind of gives you this little jolt to go for. I hate that. So there's a button in her car that every time when we start driving it, you got to hit it to turn off. It doesn't automatically just stay off. So I don't know why they are not allowed to build that in, where you can just have a switch to have that thing off, but you have to turn it off every single time that you crank the car up. So in the future models of these vehicles, what I have read from the stuff that they passed from this administration is that they're no longer required to have this on-off thing when the car is stopped. So whenever the next Honda Odyssey or the next Toyota Sienna that we like comes out and doesn't have this stupid button in it, or has a stupid start-stop whatever at the stoplight, we're getting rid of the van that she's got and we're getting the other one. Other than that, love everything. Is there anything that you dislike about it other than that?
No, but I am absolutely ruined for a car that doesn't have so many cup holders.
Yeah, cup holders.
I'm never able to go home. Is there anything else that's
holders.
important? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I love all of them, each and every one the same. They're all my favorite. So anyway, I think everything's been great. I don't have any issues whatsoever. I don't like that thing, but I drive it more than you do, and so I've kind of gotten used to it. I can work with it.
I can't deal with it.
The rest of the van's so great. I feel like if that's the problem, we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I drive, like we go on trips quite a bit, and we're driving that. So we're not going to drive my Tesla. My Tesla doesn't have that to deal with. But we're not driving an EV however many miles we have to drive, because I don't want to have to deal with charging it and stuff like that. And also her van's bigger and we can store more stuff in it. So we're going to be driving her van or whatever vehicle that she's driving on trips. And I'll drive it quite a bit. Tired of it. I'm tired of having to remember to hit the button. And I'm even more frustrated when I forget to hit the button and it turns off. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it.
And I might be making that worse because when I'm in the passenger seat, a lot of times I'll hit the button before you get to a stoplight. And so I think it's not making you remember.
Yeah, so you're doing it for me. So when I'm in the vehicle, when I'm in her van by myself and I forget it, I just like it. I hope that I don't lose my tongue whenever I have my son in the back of the car, because when it does it and I'm by myself, I'll yell out a bad word. It almost every time, because it frustrates me so much. So hopefully there won't be a situation when I'm driving my son in her van, and I don't forget that he's in the back seat, because Daddy will teach him a new word.
Well, maybe I need to stop coddling you so much and let you hit that button yourself.
That's what we need. We need you to stop coddling me so much. That's
Yep.
what will help everything.
Perfect.